but you only get to do the live thing once. It's going to be the most press any comedy show's ever gotten.
Yeah.
You know? And that's the one they're going to review.
Will Smith did the unspeakable a year ago when he slapped Chris Rock on international television, all because he couldn't handle a joke. And it looks like he's still facing the consequences of his actions to this day. Although Chris Rock initially didn't have much to say on the matter apart from a few jokes here and there, he recently let it all out in his Netflix comedy special, Selective Outrage. And when I say he let it all out, I mean he went on full destroyed the man. Ironically, just like Will did to Chris at the Oscars just a year ago. And even though many of us thought that his jokes were hilarious and even a little extreme at times, it turns out that wasn't all of it. That's right, Netflix actually stopped Chris from performing his entire act, which included multiple, even more brutal jokes about Will and his relationship. Well, you're in for some luck, folks, because we've got them all. So make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to never miss out on any new videos. During his live set, Chris Rock addressed many controversial topics, including the infamous Will Smith Oscar slap and also the quote-unquote entanglements of Will and Jada's relationship. But it's the jokes that didn't make it into the final show that are raising eyebrows. At the 24th Mark Twain Prize for American Humor on Sunday, where this year's honoree, Adam Sandler, was celebrated, Rock spilled the tea on some of the jokes he left out of his Netflix special. And let me tell you, one of them was pretty brutal. Chris Rock seemingly compared his on-stage assault to the vicious attack of Nancy Pelosi's husband in October 2022. Can you believe it? Rock even addressed the victim, Paul Pelosi, directly during his set.
Paul Pelosi, the only guy that knows how I felt, all right? Just me and you, Paul. Just me and you, babe.
For those who don't know, Pelosi was brutally bludgeoned with a hammer in his own home, causing a skull fracture that required surgery. Nancy Pelosi, his wife, later confirmed that he is recovering, but still has a long way to go before he's back to normal. The fact that Chris Rock would make light of such a heinous crime is causing outrage among fans and critics alike. Some are even saying that it's a shame that he would stoop so low for a laugh. Anyway, while he has his fair share of critics, he has a lot of fans who went all gaga over his comedy. Take Adam Sandler, for example. The man couldn't get enough of it. Adam Sandler, who was recently honored with the 2023 Mark Twain Prize for American Humor, had some things to say about his friend Chris Rock's controversial set. When asked about the jokes about Will and Jada Pinkett Smith, Sandler said,
I thought he was unbelievably relaxed, funny, thoughtful, crushed it. And it was as exciting to watch as when the Super Bowl's on.
Can you imagine? Rock's Netflix special, titled Selective Outrage, largely touched upon cancel culture. And when Sandler was asked whether he thinks cancel culture is hurting modern comedy compared to his time on Saturday Night Live in the 1990s, he said,
I don't know. The comedy I'm watching right now, I'm loving.
But some people are saying Rock went too far with his jokes about Will and Jada's marriage, saying that he crossed a line. Former SNL cast member Dana Carvey, who hosted the post-show after Rock's live special, responded to those critics saying,
there's kind of no such thing as too far, because it's called, I don't like it, me turn off, you know?
He went on to praise Rock's performance as
pure, unadulterated Chris Rock brilliance.
As for whether Rock and Will Smith will make peace with each other, Carvey said,
it's a completely closed circle of Will and Chris. I wouldn't even have an opinion.
But one thing's for sure, the scandal has everyone talking. And while that's what the world feels about jokes and the comedy special, I'm pretty sure fans are curious as to how Will and Jada felt about it. Am I wrong? Well, you won't have to wait for long because I've got the details on that as well. It seems that Jada Pinkett Smith is not happy about what he had to say in his special. According to a report by People, Jada was shocked at how many times Chris used the word in referring to her. And that's not all. She's also reportedly upset about the claims that Chris made, alleging that she told him not to host the Oscars. But let's back it up a bit. Last year's Oscars ceremony was unprecedented, and for good reason. Will Smith walked on stage and slapped Chris Rock after the comedian made a joke about Jada's appearance. It was a shocking moment that people are unlikely to forget anytime soon. Over the past year, there has been non-stop discussion about what happened and who was to blame. Many people have pointed fingers at the Film Academy, but now Chris Rock is finally sharing his perspective in his Netflix special. And from the sounds of it, he's not holding back. Despite the drama and tension between the Smiths and Chris Rock, the comedian has continued to receive praise for his work in comedy. I mean, I just mentioned how former SNL cast member Dana Carvey recently hosted the post-show after Chris's live special and praised him for his ability to tackle complex societal issues and make them hilarious. It's clear that this drama is far from over, and it's hard to say where things will go from here. But one thing is for sure, this feud between Will Smith, Jada Pinkett Smith, and Chris Rock is not going away anytime soon. For those of you who missed out on the comedy special, let me give you a quick rundown. We all remember when Will Smith lost his cool and slapped Chris Rock on stage for making a joke about Jada Pinkett Smith's haircut. Apparently, Rock was left with a bruised lip and cut face. Can you believe it? And let me tell you, Rock is not one to let it go quietly. He made sure to joke about the incident during his Netflix special, Selective Outrage, and even during his stand-up tour. He said, "Did that hurt? Goddamn right. The motherfucker hit me over a joke. The nicest joke I ever told." He also joked that he didn't need to go to the hospital for a paper cut. He's tough like that. But even after all the jokes, you could tell that Smith was feeling guilty about his outburst. He apologized publicly on social media, admitting that his memory of the evening was fuzzy, but that his behavior was unacceptable.
I've reached out to Chris, and the message that came back is that he's not ready to talk, and when he is, he will reach out.
Meanwhile, Jimmy Kimmel, who hosted the Academy Awards after Rock turned down the gig, had nothing but praise for Rock's reaction to the slap. He said, "To see something like that happen outside of the Maury Povich show is shocking. And then for it to happen at the Oscars magnifies it about 1,000,000 times. I mean, to be slapped in the face and to stay that cool is something that Chris should be proud of. Chris's grandchildren, I hope, will still be proud of that when he's dead and gone." Jimmy Kimmel also had his fair share of fun with the whole thing when he hosted this year's Oscars. He knew that everyone was waiting for him to address it, so he started the event with a few jokes about what would happen if anyone threatened physical violence during the telecast. And let me tell you, he did not hold back. Kimmel joked,
"If anyone in this theater commits an act of violence at any point during the show, you will be awarded the Oscar for Best Actor and permitted to give a 19-minute long speech."
That's a pretty wild concept, but hey, it's Hollywood. Anything can happen, right? But don't worry, Kimmel also made it clear that
Seriously, the Academy has a crisis team in place. If anything unpredictable or violent happens during the ceremony, just do what you did last year. Nothing. Sit there and do absolutely nothing. Maybe even give the assailant a hug.
Now, that's definitely a unique approach to handling a violent situation, but you have to give the guy credit for trying to lighten the mood and keep everyone calm. After joking about the potential for violence at the ceremony, Kimmel had a light bulb moment. He thought, who could protect me if things got really crazy? And being the funny guy that he is, he didn't just call out any ordinary bodyguards. No. He named some of the toughest fictional characters out there, including Adonis Creed, The Mandalorian, and Spider-Man. Overall, it seems like Kimmel was just having some fun and trying to lighten the mood. But you can't help but wonder if there was some underlying tension in the air, especially after the incident with Will Smith and Chris Rock last year. Who knows what could happen at the Oscars? One thing's for sure, we'll be keeping our eyes peeled for any drama that goes down. What do you think of the entire scenario? Comment down below and let us know. And if you like this video, click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon to be the first to see my next video. I post updates like this every week, where I uncover the secrets of your favorite celebrities.